Ninjago as of recent has been weird to me. On one hand, I think Dragon's Rising is pretty good when it wants to be, while on the other hand, there's just something holding me back from loving the series. And sure, maybe that's because it's not like the old show. The format's different, we're in a whole new world, and now have multi-season storytelling. But those ideas don't bother me and didn't bother me when Dragon's Rising was first revealed and shown to us. I mean, Ninjago's changed its format before, so I don't really know what the problem is. I feel whenever a season gets off to a good start with its part 1s, the part 2s are not as good. This has been the case since Crystallize, and honestly, I'm getting sick of it. I hate watching a season and not enjoying the rest of it because most of the time, in fact, all the time, I love the first parts. So I guess I might just be craving something new. Something that doesn't have parts, or multi-season storytelling, or 10 new characters being added to its roster each season. Well, Ninjago Legends Monstrosity was what I was craving. And don't let the short runtime push you away, because while Monstrosity is short, I would also say it's almost perfect. Legends Monstrosity follows Kai directly after the merge. He wakes up in the land of monsters, and here we are. For one, these 3 episodes are aimed for a more matured audience. Now, nothing rated R worthy or even PG-13, but it's definitely clear that this was for older fans of the show, and I think it works well that way. The land of monsters is genuinely creepy looking, and while it's not as scary as something, let's say, out of a horror movie, for an anime short series like this, there are some genuinely creepy looking things in scenes. The land of monsters is cool, but also not very different from the realm of madness. But while that's the case, I don't really blame it. These are 3 5-minute shorts compiled into one 15-minute long episode. Of course, they can't show everything off in this new realm. And sure, while they could have just made this realm a part of another realm that already exists, like the Realm of Madness, I also don't think it's that big of a deal since Ninjago has made some questionable decisions regarding its world building before. The animation and monochromatic style in general is really good, and a style I hope they keep using in the future. They used it in Golden Legend, a short released as Ninjago's 10-year anniversary legacy shorts, and it worked really well there, and it also works really well here. The monochromatic style shows Kai's feelings, his loss of hope, and his struggle in the land of monsters, and the little specks of colors show the hope that the merge didn't take from him, while also showing the humanity that still lives in him. The main example being his red headband. And I'm not gonna lie, out of Ninjago's entire catalog, this right here is the best voice performance I've seen in the show. Every voice actor does an incredible job, and especially Vincent Tong. One of my favorite moments for Vincent Tong is this short little moment right here.
If you think sparing children is weak, then you have no idea what real strength is.
There's a ton of moments like these that I just love. The Fire Knight mech is an awesome character that we get introduced to, and his introduction alone is such a good way to introduce this character to us. With the Fire Knight mech in the beginning giving up on life and being filled with grief, to at the end sacrificing himself to save Kai and fulfilling his vow not to fail another fire wielder. The only thing that's keeping the Fire Knight mech from being an outstanding character is the amount of time we spend with the mech. I feel it's just when I'm starting to get invested in the mech, they kill him off, which, don't get me wrong, it's a good way to end the shorts and it's a really impactful scene, but I find it hard to care about the mech after he sacrifices himself when there's barely anything for me to care about. You would think a $120 mech would at least have some more time to be developed in a story. But the end of the shorts are awesome. It's so well animated that it looks cinematic to the point where I wish that this was a full-ass movie. It's beautifully done, it uses the use of color very well. Also, the scene where Kai sees the other ninja and Wu in the water was a scene I was not expecting, but it's done really well. Now, while I'm praising these series of shorts, it isn't without fault. The one main major fault being its runtime. Like I said, these are 3 5-minute shorts compiled into one 15-minute long episode. And when we're going at a pace that's rushed, it kind of defeats the whole purpose of the story. Like, I want to get invested in the story, and I am, but at the same time, it's going by at a pace where we're only getting the bare minimum narrative-wise. And in order for me to be invested, you need to make me care about the characters that I'm learning about, and the story and the world that you're setting up for me. Like this scene about how the Fire Knight mech lost his master, and then Kai lifting him up, giving him a purpose, goes by so quick in like the matter of a minute. Like, you have to watch the scene like a couple times to at least process and understand what's really happening. And I find that's the case a lot here. You have to re-watch some scenes a couple of times to really understand what's happening since it's going by at such a fast pace. Like, it could have benefited from at least an extra episode or 2 to flesh out the story, or at least expand on ideas that were shortened or ended up being the bare minimum because of the runtime. Or maybe just make a 40-minute special like Day of the Departed, but that's a lot to be asking for. But even with the runtime being a major problem, that's really the only problem I have with Monstrosity, and while I do have problems with the runtime, it's still really enjoyable to watch. I think the main thing I just like about it is how different it is from Dragon's Rising, or really any Ninjago series that we've seen before. It feels a lot more new and just a breath of fresh air from the regular format that we're familiar with. Imagine we get one for the other 5 original ninja, and their stories right after the merge. We get a glimpse into what Lloyd was doing right after the merge in the 2nd episode of Dragon's Rising, so I don't know, maybe they could do something for him, or maybe even Jay. But that's all I have to say about Ninjago Legends Monstrosity. I think it's a really good series with lots of potential to be even better. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, that's your place to discuss, and feel free to leave a like as well, and subscribe if you want, but you don't have to if you don't want to. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.